Well, it is the end of another day. I'm out here in the garage enjoying a cigar. I want to thank you for joining me. I'm very glad to have you this evening. I was thinking about a story that I shared with my father-in-law the other day about some attacks that were discovered in South Africa on some rhinos. And they were pretty vicious attacks. The carcasses were completely mutilated, and there were about 50 of them. And of course, the park rangers got really concerned about it, wanted to know what happened. And as they started to investigate these bodies, they realized that there were many attacks on the head and strikes on the shoulders. And it was clear to the rangers that it was due to elephants. Now, elephants are known to jostle with rhinos, and it's not uncommon for them to kill one, but not on this scale. The magnitude was way, way outside of what was normal and what was actually sustainable for the ecosystem. And so the park rangers had their suspicions, and sure enough, they looked around and saw there was a herd of adolescent male elephants. And the reason that it was so important that they were adolescents is because they were all going through what's called must. I don't know how you would actually pronounce that. It looks like must, but there's an H on the end of it, so I'll go with must. But what happens is when they're going through this period, they have this secretion on the sides of their head that actually induce them to try and procreate. And that often will show up in typical male behavior, wanting to show off. Any guy who remembers what it was like when you were going through puberty, you just kind of get in that mode of, I've got to show how manly I am. You roughhouse with your friends, and you're trying to get the attention of any female around because you just have this urge to show how manly you are. Well, for these elephants, whenever they go through must, it typically will last about 5 days, unless there's something that they are doing that keeps that secretion going on. And if it goes unchecked, it actually becomes extremely violent or detrimental to their surroundings, as we saw in this situation. So the park rangers were really concerned because there were about 18 to 20 adolescent elephants that were causing all of this damage, and they didn't quite know for sure if this would be the solution, but what they did was they transported in 6 adult full bull male elephants. And the season of must will last longer as you get older as an elephant. And by the time an elephant is 40, it can go on for an extended period of time, but they've learned how to manage it. They don't let it rule them. They know what they need to do in order to control the must. Well, sure enough, as soon as they introduced these 6 bulls to this group of adolescents, within hours, the adolescent males came out of must, and they followed the example of the bull elephants. Now, I use that story because it is a prime example of just how important it is for a young person, or a young elephant in this instance, to see an example, to see a template of what it is to be an adult, to be a male, to be a man. I want to read a little bit more in the book from Senator Josh Hawley, Manhood, the Masculine Virtues America Needs, because it ties in so well with this story. He says, we live amidst an epidemic of fatherlessness. More children are growing up without their fathers than ever before in our history, and fewer men appear interested in fatherhood. According to the Census Bureau's statistics on families, approximately 18.4 million children now live without a father in the home. That's 1 in 4 children in this country, double the number since the 1960s. The figures are particularly striking for boys. Fully 32% of boys under 18 now grow up without their biological father present. What is perhaps even more striking is what an outlier these numbers make the United States compared to the rest of the world. A Pew Research survey of over 100 countries and territories revealed that the U.S. has the world's highest rate of children living in single-parent households. Our epidemic of fatherlessness has spawned a series of related pathologies, among them poverty, delinquency, drug use, and depression. Boys who grow up without fathers are considerably more likely to be idle and without work by their mid-20s than young men with dads. The absence of a father costs in other ways. Children without dads at home are at far greater risk for sexual assault, especially if they are girls. And both boys and girls suffer from much greater danger of physical abuse when their father is absent. Then there's crime. Crime is a predominantly male activity, and psychologists note as a threshold matter that boys with absent fathers often experience higher levels of anger, and even rage and criminality is one consequence. By age 30, fatherless boys are twice as likely to have spent time in jail, a correlation that holds true even when researchers control for factors like household income, race, and a mother's education. But on the other side of the ledger, a father's presence in the home means healthier kids, both physically and emotionally, better academic performance, less depression, less drug use, and less violence in the community, and overall, less crime. Now, if that doesn't speak to you as a call to a purpose, I don't know what does. I say this very, very often, that you don't have to have all of the answers, just to be present in so many men's lives and so many young men who are wandering around. If you see somebody who is struggling with that road rage or just going off for no reason, not knowing how to act, it's possible that they didn't have a father figure that showed them what it meant to be a man. And so I'll end tonight with a scripture in Proverbs 22:6. It says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." Well, I hope you enjoyed this evening. I hope you got something out of it. Hopefully it challenged you, sparked some thoughts. If you are not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. That really does help me out a lot. If you like what you saw tonight or what you heard, please give me that thumbs up. That helps with the algorithm, and share it on social media. I really do believe that this is something that more people need to hear about. And as we share this, that it will begin to impact our community, our world around us for the better. As always, if you've got comments, add those in the comments section. And if you are in the Lebanon area and would like to join me, I would love to share a cigar with you and change the world.